Okay guys, so we are live. Blogs, why am I doing this? Right, so the main reason I'm doing this is because we have a lot of questions like, oh, how do I get the blogs to look like the tutorial site of the blog site, our blog site, and our other channels that we've done, and we've done some modifications. And actually it's pretty easy to do, but you need to sort of understand where things are. So with the blog, there are two main templates that you can play around with. And these two templates actually control the blog page itself with all the blog articles or the mosaic, and also the individual blogs. So we're going to call one of them the blog page, which shows all the blogs, and the other one we're going to call the blog post page, right? And that's what the terms we'll be using throughout this mini workshop. So you've got the blog page, contains all the blogs, and you've got the blog post page, which is the individual blog. Now that is two templates inside Zenler, and inside those templates there is a dynamic area. That dynamic area, as you guys know, brings content in. Right, so in the case of a post, it brings the post in. In the case of the blog page, it brings in all of the blog posts that you've created. And above those dynamic areas, you can do what you like. So you can put CTAs in there. You could put blocks with categories in there. You know, really it's up to you, because remember, as long as that dynamic part in the middle stays, then all your blogs will show. So that's the workings of it. And I'll show you an example of our blog site, for instance. So I'm just going to move the guys. You can comment in here if you like, and I will look at your comments as they're coming in on here. I have to refresh it in Facebook because it kind of like jumps around a bit. So I'm going to go into our tutorial, our blog site, to just show you that first of all, and then you can see. So let's go and jump to that screen. Okay, so this is our blog site here. So I'm not going to be talking about this little thing that I created, right? I'm going to be talking about the blog page. So you're going to see in our blog page, we've got this. So if you click these, they'll go into the category for course creators, right? You can see there's a drop down here with all of our different lists, which we're cleaning up as well. We're cleaning this area up, but you can see it just drops. So if I go into coaches, for instance, it will drop into the category coaches, or it should. So somehow a link's been broken there. Need to fix that. It's not a problem. You just go in and find where the coaches are, and then you link it up. So I'll actually do that while I'm in here. Again, we're changing some of this, so stuff is going like coach areas. I need to find it. Okay, let's forget it for now. Okay, so that is the top area, which is like the header area. So this block here that you're seeing here, this is a custom made block, right? That's all it is, custom created block. Okay, so I want to, if there's any questions coming, I'm going to keep monitoring, so you're clear on that. And this page that you're looking at here is the blog page. Basically shows all of the stuff in here, right? All your different individual blogs. It loads more of them, and if you've got a lot of blogs, it will continue and continue. But you can also put a footer area down the bottom as well. If you see me doing this, guys, it's because there's a fly flying around. Right, so the actual post page itself, as you probably guessed, is in here. So here's our page inside here, and you can see we put dropped a pop-up in there, and all of this stuff can be formatted. So, and you can use the template page to do that, right? That's a big thing that you should understand. You can use that template page to do that. All right, so let's now go and have a look at a site, and so you can see it and understand what is actually going on inside here. Right, I'm going to come back to me, and then I'm going to go into a test site to start changing things. And you can have a bit of fun with this because you're changing things and you're making it look better, or you're styling it. So if you understand the principle that the blog works from 2 templates, now the style of the blog and everything else comes from your original branding. So that's where that comes from. But you can override it, because you're going to see in your site underneath the branding area, it doesn't specifically say blogs in there. There is a little bit that says blogs, and it's right down the bottom, but it doesn't really say all of that stuff. So let me go across to screen share again. You'll see down here, I'm going to make myself a bit smaller, like that. And you're going to see that there's a blog part here. So this is purely for the kind of blog interface. It puts it in that color. You can see our colors are all this purple color going through here, but it will take things like your link colors and it will use those sort of things. Now you can override these, and to override, we're going to be using CSS. But before you go, okay, I'm jumping out here, let's have a look, see if anybody jumps. As soon as I mention the word CSS, everybody disappears. Hi, David. Hey, Hazel, good to see you. Good to see you here. Yeah, normally mention the word coding or CSS, people go, ah, but I want to make this, try and make it super, super simple by using a bit of AI in this as well. So this is live. I haven't prepared anything. I'm just showing you how it works. So let's go into this site's blog to start with. So I'm going to have a page. What I do in the browser, I have a page and then I have a page open. So I have like this. But what that allows me to do is to jump. So you can see I've got a blog here and it's not even got the header menu up here. So this is our blog as we got it. We're going to change this. You're going to see there's some stuff going on here. And these are just some sort of temporary blog posts, which we're going to change. So you can see our categories here, marketing, success stories. So it has got some blogs in there. So that's a good thing. So this is the first page we'll look at, which is the blog page. And then we'll look at the post page, which is, I'm opening the post up, which is this page here. Okay. So that's that page there. And we'll style it. So inside here, you can see I've got some blog posts, but they haven't been published yet. And I've got some down here as well. So to get to our 2 templates where you can make a difference, we're going to go into settings here. So I changed something in mine using CSS that support sent me, and it was really easy. Yeah. So support sent you that CSS, or was it me? Might have been me. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So how to change that code, because you don't want to be waiting around for support to do something because you want your font a little bit bigger, or you want the line height a bit bigger, or any of those things. You want to do it yourself. And it's really easy because we can view it in here, what's happening. So first thing to do, first of all, is just to show you about the header. So on the main blog page, what I want to do is show you about this area and down here in this area. So inside of this blog area, blog on the left, you're going to go to settings. And this is going to be a little bit scary. Now, what you're going to see is you're going to see a title here, and you're going to see this here. Now, this title and description is what you get by default. So when you first start your blog up, you're going to get a header, not a very nice looking header, horrible in fact. And in it is going to say, all in one, it's going to say something like blog or something. And then you're going to have some more text down there. But you're not going to use that, because we're going to remove that block and just create our own. Because hopefully you'll feel the same, but you want to use your own graphics and things, and you don't want to use that background that's in there. I haven't got a version of it to show you, so I can't show you it. So we're not going to use that. So this stuff that's in here, don't really worry about it too much, right? Definitely put the title, but don't worry about this description. In fact, I'll remove it, right, just to make it easy. The 2 pages we're looking at is the blog homepage. So the blog homepage is this. right? The post page is this, and these are the two templates that you can edit. So both of these pages pull that content in, right? So the blog page, for instance, will look at all the blogs you've got and it will put them in order like this. This area in here is a dynamic block, so it brings in all of the blogs that you've got. So the post page brings in the post content itself. All right. So obviously you can disable and enable the blog, and you can also show the post update date as well. So you'll see if you go to any of the blogs, if I haven't turned it off, that it will give you this here. So if I was to turn it off, let's turn it off and click update. Okay. Oh, it's asking you to enter a blog description. Anything. Right. So it forces you to put something in. I'm not using it, but it's saying that. So down there, I've now turned post update date off. So let's have a look. Look at the date that's in here now. Let me hard refresh this. Hold the control key, hit refresh on your keyboard, or hit F5 a couple of times. Now it's disappeared. So if you want that date there, you can turn it on, click update, and then refresh again. This is why I use two tabs. I can just jump between them. Now you can see it's back again. Now, when you update this, it will update as well. So down here, and this is critical, you know, when you create your pages, I always talk about make sure that you put the SEO in there. Make sure you put the SEO and the preview in there. The same applies for this page or the blogs in general. The SEO, I would like, I'll say this, I would like the SEO settings to do it per post, right? But it doesn't. So you need to put your blog title in here, what you're talking about. So don't do the usual blog. This is blog. It's about dog training. Try to make it what people would type. So if you for instance do you train a particular type of dog, you want to put that in there. I train Chihuahuas to advanced level or something. This is our blog, right? Don't start off with blog and then put the stuff in there. Just do that and then put blog, because search engines are going to see it's a blog anyway, and if it's in the end of the title, they're going to see it in there. So I put master marketing, crafting compelling content, and creating courses that convert. So you're going to notice keywords: creating courses that convert, another keyword, right? Mastering and courses, mastering, marketing, right? Mastering, compelling content, courses, content, tons of keyword combinations in there, right? So it's thought about. It's not just done on a whim. Like, my name is David and I teach you how to create content. Right? It's not done like that, because one, search engines don't know who David is, so that's no good. And it's just not about you. It should be about your business. So there's a bit of SEO going into this as well. The same applies for your page description. Make sure that you're using words that are good. If you're not sure, type something up, put it into AI and say, look, is this good for keywords for my particular topic? I'm a dog trainer, I teach Chihuahuas. Right, and then it will say, no, it's not. You need to feature this, and it will do it for you, and you can just paste it in there, right? So meta keywords, not really used much this at the moment, but they are used by search engines such as Yandex, etc. So it's still worth putting them in there. And you never know whether they were going to bring them back or something, right? So if you've done it, you've done it. So keywords are things, the meta keywords are things like in this particular title are kind of marketing. Then you put a comma, then you put a space, and then articles, comma, space, course content, course creation, comma, space, right? And that's the format that you fill it out. So you just leave a comma between your keywords. Doesn't matter if they're upper and lowercase or just lowercase. And lastly is the social media, and this is really important, is to drop a social media image in there, click there, upload it, and that will then, so if you share your blog post, it will have this information. If you don't, it will be random information or whatever the default is. So that is an important part as well. So check that, Hazel, while you're in there. Check you've done that. I'm sure you have. Right, so I've covered those bits. Put something in there. Maybe put something that's, you know what, just do something like this. Just copy this. Copy the meta description in there. Just drop it in there. That's fine. Like I said, we're not using that. So the first page, blogs. That's this page here we're going to look at. And the same will apply for the post page when we do it. But this is what we've got at the moment. So let's go and edit the home page, which is this page. Right? Edit page. And what you're going to see is that this is your standard page builder. So there's nothing new. There's nothing to learn in that. Well done, Hazel. So you'll notice up the top, I'm going to do comparisons all the time. This block here, this is our block. All I've done is insert, like I could do it for you. I'll just do it for you. I've just done that, dropped a block in. I've just gone to add rows. I've done 3 rows and then I've dropped an image into there, like whatever that image might be. Let's just choose this or something, right? That's all I've done. I've colored it and then I've just clicked in that area and I've just dragged it up, and then I've just made it that color. Okay, so if I bring it down, it's going to go down in size. So that's all I did to create that block. But if I save this block, watch what happens on the home page. So let's refresh this. And there you go, it appears there. So this is an area where you can put stuff. Now, if I want my navigation, this is a link site as well, so I don't want navigation. But if I did want my navigation in there, I would just go down to my blocks. You should already have your navigation in there. You want to go to headers, because it's a header. You want to choose the dynamic one, drag it in there, and you're going to get your dynamic header. There you go, just done it. So there's that off, delete that out, click save. And now that will be updated in there. So let's click that. There it is. Super easy. And we can add new blocks. So if I want to pull out one of my categories, for instance, I'm going to do a block and just pull out 3 of the categories so you can see. So I'm going to go into here. We haven't even got onto the CSS part yet. So I'm going to throw an empty block in here. I'm going to make it a grey color. And then I'm going to close this up because I never like to have that stuff spaced in there. You have to pull it up to you, nothing more like that. Takes a few, and look, if you pull it down, you don't let go, it kind of drags it up again. So inside here, we're just going to put 4 blocks. And then inside here, we're going to drop an image. You could drop a button if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be an image. So I'll just drop any old image in here just to show you how it works. So let me take that. Let me duplicate it. So you drop another image in here. Let me duplicate that. Drop another image in there and another one in here. And now I can link them. So if I go to say, let's go marketing help, look at the category. I'll show you how to set categories, but it's giving me this category. So all I need is to copy this. And then I can go into this, go into settings over here. So let me do that again. Click the image, go into the little gear icon, go to settings on the right hand side, go open in new tab if you want to, or keep them in the same tab. I'm going to click on click go to, and I'm going to paste that URL that we took from here, marketing help. Notice that link is the same. Then I'm going to click save. Right, so now this will jump to that page. So let's do it for the next one as well. We've only got 2 in here, success stories. So that's success stories. I'm going to grab that link. I'm going to go in here, go on click go to here, click save. Okay, so let's test it now. Let's go and refresh this page. And there we go. And what you're going to see is down the bottom, left hand bottom, I'm actually in the way. If you click that now, it's going to go to the category marketing help. And if I click that now, it's going to go to the success stories. So that's how you can create that kind of top block. Have you done that, Hazel? So also you can format this stuff better. So inside here, you might want to go, okay, I want to give it some corner radius. I'd like a border style on that of solid. I want the border width to be like 3. and then I want it to be maybe black around the outside. So you can also put a border around there as well, make it look all fancy and nice. So you can, of course, bring in like CTA. So this is really good because this is so quick. If you've done like a big CTA block for a live that you're running, oh, you haven't, so I'm going to cover that in a second. But if you have done a big CTA block on your page because you're running a live event, then save the block and then come into this template and drop it in. Because if you come into this area and we close this up, if I go down to custom blocks, it saves all your custom blocks if you've saved them, and you can just drop them back in. So if I've got this block, for instance, I could now put that wherever I like. I can put that on my home page. So if I'm running it for like a week or something, I could have this in here, and then when the event finishes, I can just go in and delete it back out. Right, so you can do that. So that's the advantage of saving the block. So when you create any kind of CTA in your site or any form or any of those things, and you think I want to reuse that in different areas, do make sure that you click the block and go save as template, because then you can reuse it. So I could call it CTA for blog, and then I could reuse that in the page. So I can say, look at the categories of my blog, and then I could redrop this back into the page. Saves me time. I've designed it once. I don't have to redesign it for any of the other pages. I've got it in there. So if I refresh this page now, let me just reload. Let me just reload the page. If I'm on a new page, any of my pages, I could drop it in there. So let me just delete it out. And to prove a point, we go down to custom blocks, and it always appears, I think, at the bottom. Click it, drag it, and there you go. So you can now put that in any page on your site, and it will link to the categories in the blog. That could be cool, right? Because you might have those set up, those categories. You might want to say, right, okay, I want to tell people about the blogs. I've written all this content and I've got all these categories, so I'll put it in there. The same could apply for individual blog posts. So you could have the blog card in here, and you could then grab the URL of that card. So if I was here and I wanted to send people to this one, Melissa Dillon post, I could grab this and then I could insert her course card in there. I don't know if I'll easily be able to find it because I might have copied this from another site. Let's put the puppy in there like that, right? So then I could go into click to go, and that's Melissa Dillon's post in there. So once I save that, if I went back into my blog, I'm going to have this one, and when I click this, it's going to go to her. So it doesn't have to just be categories, it can be anywhere. You could even send someone to a marketing funnel, which is definitely a way of doing it. You might want to send them directly into a marketing funnel. So that's a powerful thing to do as well. So understand that. You can set up buttons. You could even do text in here and link it if you wanted to as well. So if you've got, instead of image, you've got in here text, you could use text, put a text in. You could link there, and then you could use the link and then link there, and click insert, and now I've got a link that will also go to Melissa Dillon. So I've put text in there now, I've linked it through that, so you can use your actual site. So if I now refresh this, you're going to see text down here. When I click that, it's going to go into Melissa Dillon, right? So that's how it works. And you can do the same with buttons, of course, so you can put buttons in there as well. So that's very cool. And like I said to you, those CTAs, so if you've got like a CTA on your homepage already, think about using it on your blog. If you're looking in things like Google Analytics, is a lot of traffic coming to your blog site? More traffic coming to your blog site than actually your website? If that's the case, you definitely want to make sure that any of your CTAs and things are in the blog page, because that's where people are hitting it. And you see, we do the same at Zenler. It's like if you look at our blog that we've got here, when you come into this blog, you're going to, on 2% scroll, get this kind of pop-up come in. So if I go into any of the posts inside here and I start scrolling, you're going to get this pop-up come up, right? So this is sending people to an offer. Now, when this is finished, which is today, we're going to remove this from the blog post. But that's how people do it, because we get a lot of traffic coming into the blog post. So make sure that you do that. So maybe I should talk about the pop-up. Right, as you're the only one in here, Hazel, do you want me to talk about the pop-up? I'm going to give you the option, and then I'm going to move on to categories. Useful. Okay, so at the moment, this page has got really nothing in it. It's just a blog and all of those things. And a lot of people, I don't like them, but a lot of people like pop-ups. So I want to go through some of the options with a pop-up with you, because people get a little bit locked into what you can use them for. And I wanted to just sort of clear that up, because they can be used for other things. Right, so let me go back to newzenler.com blog again, and let me just show you. Right, so look what's been done here. Now, I'm not touching the page at the moment, right? Hands free. Nothing's happening. So there's different triggers that can trigger the pop-up. And that's what I'm going to explain to you. So watch what happens when I scroll. So I'm scrolling, and then it pops up. Hi, Shelley, good to see you. So then the pop-up pops up. So the trigger is on scroll. Right, it's not triggered on landing or exit. So but look at the pop-up itself. The pop-up's not like the usual pop-up that you get. Like if I go to the pop-up, that's kind of the usual one that you get, is when it works, is that. It's nothing like that, you know. So what have I done? Well, all I've done is I've dropped a whole image in here, and I've put a link on the image to go to our pricing page or our bundle page for this. That's what I've done. So I haven't used the form. I've used it as a pure CTA to get people to click to go through to see the offers in the page and then to join Zenler. Right, you could leave a form in there and capture people, but I think this is a good use of how you can use pop-ups. So how do we turn the pop-ups? What are the settings in the pop-ups? Right, so if you're on the page, you're going to see pop-up is on. Now, this kind of annoys me a little bit, because it's on, but it's actually not activated, because you've got no actions, no triggers. So no triggers, right, to cause it to fire. So even though it shows on in there, it's not active because it's off. So to see it, if we click this pop-up, this is happening. It's very strange. That's strange as well. What it's doing here. Right, there you go. That's popped up. So to see it or to change it, so to see the settings in it, we're going to go to the blue box around the outside. If you click outside, it will close this off. So that little blue is the containing pop-up box. That is just an image. That's just the text. That's a text. This is a form to capture the details. So let's go into the main configuration for the pop-up, which is the big blue outline. Click the settings. Look on the right-hand side. I'll try and make this a bit bigger for you guys so you can see. Yeah? Look, it says active. It says active. It says on. Look, if I do this, it goes off. But because there's no triggers, we've got it on. Because there's no triggers, no animation, it doesn't do anything. So I said to, hopefully Rakesh is watching this. I said to Rakesh a long time ago, why isn't it off? People should have to turn it on. By default, when they come in, it should be like that. Right? So you click it to turn it on like that, and then you apply the action. And I get why they've done it, because they want you to click on it to see that you have to cause a trigger to make it work. Right? So, because that's what we want you to do, because you're like, well, it's on, but it's not working. Why is it not working? So you click it, right? So that's the mindset behind it. So it makes sense. So let's have a look at the trigger action. What triggers this to work? And we know that it's on, but it's not on because there's no trigger. So let's have a look. This is really cool. On landing, what does that mean? That means when someone lands on your page, it will instantly pop up. That's all it means. On exit means when they click to exit the page, it will pop up, right? I never use on landing and I never use on exit. I'll tell you why in a sec. But let's have a look on scroll. Now on scroll is a really cool one. So I'm going to select it. It says after scrolling. So remember I told you with Zenler's one, if I refresh this page, the scroll percentage is 2% of the page. So when I get to 2% of the page, it pops up. So it's pretty quick. Any kind of movement, it starts it. So if I was to put the scroll percentage on like 50%, they would have to go through 50% of the content before the scroll happened. Now, that's good in some cases if you've got a lot of traffic and there's a lot of people viewing for longer periods on your website. It's a really good thing. However, it's a very bad thing if you haven't got too much traffic and you're trying to build a blog, because you'll probably find that people are not going to read the article. So you want to keep it right up the top when you're beginning. And when you start to get a lot of traffic, you can increase that number so it's less of a pain. People start to get into it. I think a sweet spot is between 5 and 15%, right? So I think that's a good sweet spot. So, but let's go crazy here. Let's put 90%. After scrolling 90%. So now I've put that number in there and I've got a trigger. I've activated the pop-up. So now it's on, it's truly on, right? So I'm going to click save to that and we're going to look at what happens. So I'll just pop back out and we'll go into this page and just refresh it. So this is a very short page. So if I go like this, it's going to jump. I probably need to refresh it. Have I saved it? All right. Probably refresh again. Maybe it's too short. Let me check. Let's do on landing. Just want to make sure that it's not a bug. Okay. Good. Yeah. So it's popped up. Maybe this page, I'll do the 90% on a full blog page because then you can see it. Maybe it needs a bit of scrolling, but you can see how that works. So that's how it works. It's on that scrolling. I think the safe number there is between like 5-15% if you're a new site. So after delay is also a really good one. Let's put that in there. That should work, right? So we're going to give it a 5-second delay. So this means someone hits your page 5 seconds. If you're a new website, remember, if you've got a lot of high bounce rate going on in your website, you want to think about making it quite short delay, because we know that if there's a high bounce rate, what it can indicate is that your messaging is not clear. So they've come into the page, but they're reading the headline and going, that's not for me, I'm bouncing away. So you need to make sure it's quick. So you need to look at what's happening with the site before you make a decision about scrolling and intervals. So it's not as simple as you might think. There's actually logic behind what you would do and the timings. So I'm going to leave 5 seconds. I'm going to click save. Let's go into this article now and count. So I'm going to refresh the article. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Pretty cool, yeah? And it pops up. So let's format this now. So we got our pop-up to work. We're happy with 5 seconds. Maybe you don't want a form. If you want a form, you can use the form that's here. But I'm not going to talk about it much because it's a different thing. But remember, any form can send people into a marketing funnel, right? Do you guys understand that? Every form can send someone into a marketing funnel. Yeah. So if you go to the settings of the form, when you set up a form, you'll have the settings here and you can actually go in and, the submit down there, settings for the submit, and you can actually add them to a funnel. So what happens is they bypass. Oh yeah, right. Yep, yeah, okay. Yeah, of course there's like a 10-second delay, isn't there? I'm in the future. Right. So there is a way that you can have a form. So when people say, this is a good one, right? People set up marketing funnels and you drive people to your opt-in of the marketing funnel, but you could send them to a form on your website, and when they fill it out, they could still be added to that marketing funnel. I'm hoping that's super clear, because you can pick it in here. So what I'm saying is, if someone puts their name, email, and they subscribe to this, they get added to the funnels. So you can add them to more than one funnel. You could add them to 3 funnels. So this is what I do when I set up what I call trigger funnels. So these are funnels that have got no pages. They're purely automation. So when someone signs up, I have a trigger funnel, which I add them to. So what happens when they fill this form out is they then get an email, because they're into that funnel, the automations start. So it sends an automated email to them. I don't put anything into the opt-in or the funnel steps, because I'm using it to automate an email sequence. I'm using the funnel as a trigger funnel for emails. Okay. So that's how it can work. So you can add them there. Also, remember that in this area as well, you can tag them. So you can tag them. So I can add them to the funnel, and then in the tag, right, this is where we get a little bit complex. I could say something like blog lead. Yeah. Now they would be added to this 20 SEO tips, but when I filter them in the funnel, I can see, oh, they've got a tag of blog lead. So they came into the funnel through this form. And maybe for the funnel itself, I've got a tag of funnel opt-in. So I know they came in through the funnel opt-in. Well, this is good for me, because I then know where the traffic is coming from. Which page are they hitting? And then I can get an indication of how Google is looking at the pages, because probably Google's throwing this page up higher than the opt-in page. So it means I'm getting more traffic. So I can go, right, okay, if my whole marketing campaign has been around trying to send people into an opt-in marketing funnel, maybe I should change it and send them to this page. So change the campaign, because it's getting more leads coming through here than it is through here. And many sites do this. They'll have multiple, you won't even know, they'll have a CTA on the pages, on different pages, and they will have tagged it all differently. So they can tell where that traffic drives through. This can get really complicated really quickly. And if you do this, make sure you set up some sort of spreadsheet so you can understand what you've done. Otherwise, you'll have things scattered everywhere and you won't understand what they mean or where they come from. So tie them up. Make sure they've got good names like blog lead. But that blog lead could be on another blog, and then I won't know where it's from. So make sure that it's clear for you. So this is all this stuff. So you can have a form in there, but to do what I did here, that is an image. So, and you probably guess what I'm going to say. So I go into this area. People don't know this, right? They don't know they can just go in and start deleting things out, but you can go in here. Don't delete it all out, because it tends to mess things up. So if I go into the image now, I can go across the settings, and then I can choose a CTA. There it is. There's a CTA. So that's huge though, isn't it? You know, that's in there, but it's huge. So how do I make that smaller? Well, I can make that smaller by actually going into the, I don't know if that's a bug. That's really annoying. I can make it smaller by going into here and going into the style and choosing pop-up width, small or medium. So you don't have to have that side. I could do a bigger radius on the corners or the edges if I want to. So I tend to do like 5 or something. And of course the border color. So you might want to change that border color to a different border color like that. You might want to change that border width to a thicker width like that. You know, it's really up to you. And the background color, you could choose the background color. It basically, that image covers it all, but you choose, I could choose clear in there if I wanted to, or match close to that color, which is something like that, you know, and then it matches. So if I click save, this is set for display after 5 seconds. You do have design options here, so you can swap these out, but I tend to start with the basic and just make it look how I want it to look. So now I saved that, we'll have a look, and you're basically going to get the same sort of banner that we had before. So I'm going to click that after 5 seconds. 1, 2, and there it is. And that of course can have a link in it, which we did earlier. So in your pop-up, you're going to go to that image, you're going to go into there, if you can get it, and you're going to do click, on click, go to, and then send them to wherever you're going to go to. Right, that's pop-ups. So that'll work on that page. Now, if we set a pop-up on our post page, it will appear on every blog page. So you'll notice with our site, we haven't got it on the main blog page here, but we've got it on all the post pages. And the reason we've got it on all the post pages is because they're being picked up by search engines, they're hitting those pages, and we want it to pop up each time for those pages, because generally people don't go through looking at a ton of blog posts at a time. They'll see the offer, they can close it, they can read the blog post, and they carry on. So that is how those work. So you can do the same down here. You could set up a form, and again, you could tie them into a funnel. Like I've got a form here. I think this ties into a funnel. No, but it says blog subscriber. I could add them to a funnel there like that. And you can also have what's called post submit action, where you send them to a thank you page if you want to as well, or just leave it as it is and it just comes up thank you. And you can see we've got a CTA down here. So it's just a CTA button going through to Zenler for people to sign up. So that's how you can do it. So you can totally customize the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to speed things up a little bit here, because the same thing applies with the post page. So inside the post page, we're going to have this big area in the middle where there is our post content. Right, so blog post content here, look, you can see it. Oh, look at this down here. So what is this? This is the blog page. This is this page. And I've just put the block under here. So I put another dynamic block under here. Let's have a look at it. So if I go into this page and we scroll, we read the blog post, all of this stuff down here. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to hit the rest of the blogs with this, and it will change in that page, right? So you can see it in there. So how did I do this? You don't have to do this. In fact, you probably don't need to do it at all. So this is the main blog content. That's all right. I'm not going to delete it, but if I want the blog mosaic, I can go in and I can grab that wherever it is. Blog, there it is there, and there's the mosaic there. Drag that into there, and I've now got that. So I've actually got the blog content individual post, and I've got the carousel, I've got the mosaic as well from the blog page. So you can do that. So the same thing applies. You can change the headers in here if you want to. You can add CTA blocks in here, and that's all cool. So is that crystal clear? That's about all you need to know. You can add whatever you like. You can use it and change it and swap it up. If you have some live event or something going on, you can drop it in there and then you can just remove it. And you've only got to do that with 2 templates, or you can just do it with 1. Is that clear? Super clear. because now what we're going to do is we're going to move on. So I've covered the top half, I've covered about the pop-up and all those things. Now we're going to look at the actual formatting of the blog itself. So we're going to be mainly working inside of the post to edit the post part. So let me close this down and go into here. So inside here, we have the ability to go into page settings. And you're going to notice that in here, we have the ability again to add CSS. So CSS is a way to add styling and things. So I'm going to now look at showing you how we can use AI to help us with what we want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you find different parts in a site. So how you find codes that you can put into AI. I don't want to start teaching you now how to do CSS. I want AI to do it for you. I just want you to understand what information you need to give to AI to be able to produce the result for you. Oh yeah, and categories. So that's what we're going to do next. But just before we're going to do that, we're going to look at categories. Right. So to set up a category, I'm going to jump into blogs because Hazel asked. In here, you're going to see all categories, right? And then you're going to see manage categories. Now, you don't see a button in here saying add a category, do you? And that sometimes confuses people. So if I want to add a brand new category, all I need to do, and it's just so super simple, but it's not obvious, is I need to go into one of the blog posts, and it doesn't matter which one at this stage, come into a blog post that we're going to select for a particular category. So what is this? Revolutionizing membership. So I've already got, if I click there, I haven't got one for memberships. Do you see that? So under category, you can select categories that you've got. So if I want to create a new one, and we want to call this one memberships, right? I don't want it to be part of the marketing help. So I'm going to just deselect that. Notice you can add it to multiple categories. So when you go to different categories, you can jump and you'll see this blog post in both marketing help and success stories. So you can just do that to get rid of them. So to create a new category, super simple. We're going to go in here and just put marketing. You're going to type it out, and then you're going to go down here and you're going to just click it. Now I've set up a new category. If I now save this post and we'll go to another post, you're going to see that category appears. So let's go into this one. And once that opens up, let's click here, marketing. It appears. There you go. That's it. That's it. Right. So a little caveat. If you create a category and you've done it in one blog post and then you delete it later on. So say, for instance, I come into this blog post, this one blog post I added marketing to. I come in here and I go, oh, actually, do you know what? I don't want it in marketing. I want it in marketing help. And then I click update. Now, because I've deleted it out of everywhere, it doesn't appear anywhere. It's not going to be accessible. So if I come into this one again and I try and pick that marketing one, it's not, well, it's there, it's showing, but it shouldn't show. It sometimes disappears, probably because I haven't cleared it, I haven't refreshed, but that won't appear there. So you need to have it in at least one blog post to appear. So once you've done that and you've got all your categories set up, you can then manage and you can reorder things as well. So if I go into manage categories, oh, it's in there. So actually it doesn't appear in one. So you can delete it out here. I don't know why it's sticking in there. It didn't used to. Maybe Zenler have changed it so that it sticks now. I don't know. But if I didn't want this, because there's no articles in there at all, I can just click delete and it will delete it out. So I can delete it out of here, but that means that I'll have orphaned blog posts, right? Because if I remove this, then 7 of those blogs are not going to have any categories they're falling into. So be careful with this stuff. To get back to blogs, you can go back to there. And also, just as a note, if you decide that you want to change the name of this because you've got it wrong, you can just click the edit in here and you can change the name and click the little tick, and that will change those as well, right? So it's really super easy to work with those. The other thing is blog posts themselves. So if you go into reorder, you can actually drag and reorder your blog posts that appear in the page. So that will be the order that they appear in the category as well as on the main hub as well. So if I move Melissa's to the top here, these are unpublished, by the way, these ones, so they won't show anyway. So let's move Melissa's right to the top, and it literally saves as you do it. So if I came into our blog now, let me just preview the main blog like this. There you go. It's first because I've moved it around, right? So if I move that one to the top now, it will save it. You can see it says replaced. Then I refresh the page in here. There, it's appeared in there. So that's reordering your blogs, and that will be the same. That will be the same order if you go into the categories as well. So that is reordering. Is that okay? Oh, that's easy enough. Yeah, yeah. Are you off now? Yeah, really super simple. So good. That's cool. Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. Yeah, we're going to get on to your bit. Right. Okay, so let's go and do some styling to our blog post. So I'm going to pick this best online course platform. I just want this one here because I want to make changes. The changes I make will be mirrored on all of the blogs, right? All of them. Now, let's go into our blog page, our post page. So I want to go right back to the beginning. I want to go into the blog. This page is the blog post. So we want to go to settings, and then down here, we want to go blog post. Remember, this is all of the blogs on the page. This is individual posts, and making changes to this will ripple through all of the blogs, all of them. So we're going to click edit, and I'm going to show you how to inspect and how to do this using AI to do it. Right, so we're going to have this open. We're going to go into page settings here. And for you guys, this is a bit of complicated coding, so I'm not even going to cover it at this, but I'm going to save it because I need to put it in after the workshop. Let me just, oh, there it is. Okay, make sure I don't delete anything. So when you open this up, hopefully you'll have nothing in here. So there it is. Right. Okay. So there are a few things we can do, and I'm going to show you kind of the standard way you do it, and then I'm going to show you the way that you can do it using AI. So if I want to change the color of this, maybe the size and those sort of things, if inside Chrome, all browsers have this ability, it's just in Chrome, it's called inspecting, right? Inspecting or code or something in a different browsers. Inside Chrome, it's inspect. Don't ask me what it is in Mac. I haven't got a clue. If you're using Mac, you'll have to sort out, but it's the ability to inspect. So if I right hand click, you're going to see I've got inspect, and it's going to throw out a scary little tab here, right? But it's really not that scary. Now, the CSS code, this is actually, you can see it on this right hand side. So your interface might look a little bit different, but you can actually see it there on that side. So when you use this little tool here, let me just zoom in. This is your inspection. It means when you click it and you go over things, it's going to do some weird stuff. But if you just leave it, you're going to see that it gives you a little box. It says p.dynamic text. Basically it means P. Okay, so it's going to give you that information inside there. So if you click it again, then it will just go back to normal page. So let me just scroll back out on this so you can see it clearly. So if I go over something like this, what you're looking for is something that looks the same as this color, and we've got it here. So it says content style, dynamic heading, and there's a little purpley button. So if I click that and I went into that color, watch what happens on the screen. It changes, right? So it's changed down here. So watch what happens if I grab that. Now this change will happen in all of the places this is, right? Because it's using that. So if I go into like this color, you're going to see that wherever that tag is, because it's the same, they're both H2, it's applying it to all of that that's the same color. So you're globally making those changes. Do you see that? Pretty simple. So let me go over it again. Let me go right back to the beginning. Let me refresh the page and get out of Inspector and just show you. So that's the principle. What you're doing is you're finding a way to mark what those things are in the page. So once you've identified them, you can then target them. And that's what we're doing. So I'm going to target this. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to go to inspect. I'm going to pick that little icon, click there. I'm going to come in here and then I'm going to choose a color like this color here. And now I've got that. I'm going to drag and copy this. Once I've copied it, I'm going to come back into my editing page and I'm going to add it here. Right. And I'm going to click update. Now remember, this is the template for every blog. So if I make a change inside here, it will happen on every single page that I've got on my blog site. Not on my main site, just on the blog. Just on the blog, because this is the blog template page. So click save. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to refresh this page. So I've changed it from purple to this color. Let's refresh. And it might do this. That's all right. That's fine. Because what's actually happening is Zenler is overriding your CSS style. So you need to do one more thing. And I'm going to show you how to do it in AI in a minute. So we need to do one more thing. We need to open up our page settings again. And where you've got the semicolon, I'm going to try and make this much, much bigger. There, like that. See where you got the semicolon? We're going to put between the semicolon and the last letter, we're going to drop a space in there. And we're going to do an exclamation mark and we're going to put important. That's our cue. That's our card for overriding things. Okay. So now I'm going to click update. I'm just going to go back to the usual size. You're going to see it's already starting to affect it. So I'm now going to click save. And now watch what happens. So we're going to get more sophisticated with this. So now I'm refreshing. Look, it's turned that color. It's turned that color throughout because it's dynamically generated there. You see that? So let's prove a point here. It's not just on this blog, the online course, because you put it in the template. Let's go into this one here. You're going to see that this is also. So I'm globally changing things. If I decide to change this to another color, I could come into Inspector and I could go right. And you'll notice this is crossed out. This was the old one. This one's taking priority. So if I go in here and I choose a orange color like this, I can then just grab this little hexadecimal number here and make it a bit bigger. There. Copy that. Come into my post template page, come in here and I can just edit this. I can just put that new color, whoops, that new color in here like that. Get rid of that. Now it's all going to go orange. So let's click save. When that's saved, I'm now going to refresh this page and you're going to get this all in this orange color. See? That's it. In a nutshell, that's how you can change things. So what about things like the line height? and those sort of stuff. So inside here, we can go in and we can go, right, okay, let's look at that copy. And if you look through this, as you start to mouse across here, it will change things like the line height here. So if I was to put, like, I'm going to go crazy, 90, look at that line height, huge. So if I put 9, it's going to be really close. So you can change your line height. You can go in there and say like 10 or 16 if you want to make it a bit wider. Let's make it 19 or 22 or 25 if you want a bit bigger like that. Right, we could also go in here at the same time and go, right, actually I only want my font, I want my font size to be 16. There you go, 16. So I've made 2 changes in here. I've changed the line height and I've changed the font size. So these are the 2 that I want, line height and font size. So I'm going to copy this here. I'm going to come into our page. I'm going to drop all of them in. I don't want the margin top. I don't want to touch that. I don't want the font weight, but I want to put important after that semicolon. So I'm copying that bit, dropping that in there, that bit, dropping that in there. I'm going to click save, update. And now what you're going to see is those changes applied. So you can at any time, once you start to understand this, you're like, this is really easy. This is super easy, because you'll be going, right, okay, I want to change that blog size. I'll come in here and you can go, oh yeah, it's that one there. I'll just put that in there at 27 or something. Right, let's just make sure that's worked. So I'm going to refresh this page and you're going to see this will change. Now it's the same. So in any of the blogs that I go into, that change is going to happen. So let's go into Melissa's one here and you'll see, there you go. So that's how you can do it. That's how you can add those things in there. It's pretty simple. You can do some really crazy things with this as well. So even things like link colors. So because you're overriding stuff. So this has got its own color, which I could change. So this is a link here. So again, let's inspect that and find out if we can change it. So inside there, if we click there, you're going to see I've got a link color there. So I could go into this and change it to this color. So that's great. So that looks good to me. Copy that. See how easy it is once you get into it. So we can then come in here and go, that's good. Copy important. Click update and save. And when I refresh this page, it's going to, all the links in the site, wherever you've got a link, is going to remain pink. So let's just check that by going to this one. I think it's got a link. And you can see it's even changed these in here, right? So there's a link there. So you've changed it to that pink color. So it's super easy. There's so many other things that you can do with this. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So this color here, for instance, this is a quote. So inside here, if I right hand click and I go to quote, it's a block quote here that you can see it. So you've got this color here, you've got 2 lines, you've got the solid line. So let's make the solid line red. Okay, solid line's gone red. You can see it there. And let's make the quote text, let's make it gray. So it's like dark gray like that. Okay. And let's set the style here to italic. Notice it's turned italic. So I'm just adding them in here. And this gives you prompts, because when you send font style, you can Google this as well. Like, what can I use to make something italic in CSS? And it'll say use font hyphen style. So you know it. So I've now made the bar there red. I've made this gray and I've made the font style italic. So I copy this block now here, copy. I come back into my editor page. This is the basics of doing SEO. I don't need the margin because I didn't touch that. I don't need the padding because I didn't touch that. And I need the rest, and all I need to do is make sure I stick that important tag. That's something that you must do, because sometimes it's overridden by the branding colors themselves. So this is how you can go independent from the branding. Now I click update. and I click save. And let's test this now. Let's go to a different page, and let's go to this page here. And now you're going to see if it's got any quotes in here. I bet this one hasn't got any quotes. No. All right. So we'll have to go back to the other page. Let's go to this one. So inside here now, any of those quotes that are in there, I've got red, and then that's in italic, and you can see the same there. So you can really make it your own. So I can see Hazel's got a question in here. So Tiffany's good with this. David, can I ask a question, please? Is there a way I can decrease the size of the blog post thumbnail things on the blog page? Yeah, you can. Let's do it. Let's do it. So remember though, if you think later on when you've done these changes and you change something in branding and you go, I want that across my site, and you come to your blog site and you go, why hasn't that changed? It's because you've overridden it in the blog template. So don't forget that you did that, because that's something that happens. So if I wanted to bring everything back to ground zero, I could go into page settings and I could grab that content and just click update. And now if I refresh this, it's all going to change back to what it was before. If I hard refresh it. Hold on, got to save it again. Like so, it'll go purple. There you go, back to what we were before, right? I don't like this. This is a bit heavy. I'm going to change this, but this is not a proper blog anyway. Okay, so thumbnails. So I'm going to ask you, Hazel, while you're here, what thumbnails on this page you mean? It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky because it's a grid system. When I start getting into this, it can be, by default, it's got 3 columns. That's the grid positioning. But I think on Zenler's blog, did I reduce it on Zenler's? No, I don't think I did. I have had it where I've had 4 in a row, those kind of things. So if you're still here, Hazel, let me know. Well, let me know if you mean this page. I'm just refreshing the page because maybe you put a comment in there. Maybe can I all right, well, let's just do it. I'm presuming you mean this page. So if we were to think, how would you lay this out? What is this? So if a container is 100% from here to here, then what breakout oh, yours is only 2 wide. Oh, maybe I did an override. Interesting. I thought it was always free. I do play around with my sites though, so it could be 2. Anyway, right. So I think it's this. And if we think about it, so you need to, a little bit of maths here. So if we got 100% from here to here and we got 3, what is that? That's 33.333 each, isn't it? To make up 100%. So if you wanted it 2 rows, for instance, it would be 50%, wouldn't it? Roughly, you know, because there is a little bit of padding between and stuff. So remember those numbers. There's a reason I told you those numbers. So if we right hand click again and we go down to inspect, now you have to be careful because Zenler's a bootstrap system and things on top get bounced down, right? So you can accidentally mess it all up. And if that happens, do what I did before, delete that CSS out or try something different that makes it work. So let's have a look and go and have a look at these rows. So if I click this, what you're going to see is, oh, okay, yes, I've definitely added some custom CSS in because it's crossed this out. So let me go and reset it. Let me go into where would that be, guys? Can you guess? So if it's not in the blog area, my CSS code, where would it be? I'll give you a bit of time. Have a think on that. I think we've got a 10-second delay. So you put where it been. I'm going to carry on, so I'm not sitting in silence. So I've given you enough time, so I'm expecting it there. So what I've done is I've obviously blog homepage. No, Hazel. So that's good. That's good. Right. So if you've removed all of the CSS from the blog area, how can CSS affect something? The only place that CSS can affect globally your whole site is in the site settings and in global includes. Look at this area. This area allows you to put custom CSS and scripting for your sites. So it's a really powerful area. Also the course player, also known as the curriculum page, you can put it in there for that as well. So if we look down here, we're going to see this is relating to the CSS inside global includes. So this is a place where I add CSS if I want to affect all of the pages in my website, even blog pages. So inside here somewhere, I've obviously put, there you go, look, I've put some CSS in here. So I can already see that I've put CSS in here to override something. So if I go down here, I think, now guys, look, don't get confused here. I've put a lot of CSS code in here. I always do this with sites so I can control it. It's much quicker for me. I don't have to go through every page and change text and all of these things. I can do it in one place and it ripples through the whole site. But I know for experience that this is the area that I want to take stuff away from. So if I look down here, I can tell that it's actually, this drives me a bit nuts. I go down here. So that's what I need to delete. So if I cut that out, and then I come down here and I click update, and for some reason you have to do it twice until you get this come up. Right, let's have a look at the blog now. Now I've done that. I've removed some text from global includes. So it's still doing something. So there's obviously some text in there. So I'm going to do something a bit crazy now. I'm going to have a look. Right, hold on. I need to save this because I don't want to lose it. Right. Because it's a live site. It's our Linktree site. So let me just go back. Right, let me just select all of this. This is totally resetting this area. So I definitely haven't got any CSS anywhere else. So I'm going to put that in a, by the way, guys, like I'm just backing things up by putting that text that I grabbed out into a Word doc. So if you get something that's really close and you want to just reset, just copy it into a Word document, save it. That way, if you need to go back to that code, you can grab it. Right. So you really, Hazel, you don't need to worry about this global area. You probably haven't added anything to it. Doesn't make any difference to you. Right. So let's now go and check this. So not that page, this page. That pop-up's annoying me now. So let's have a look what I've got. 2. There you go. 2. That's good. That's what we wanted. So we're going to add all our CSS into the blog template page. So back here, I'm going to turn off the pop-up just because it's annoying me in here, right, when I go to the page. Right, so let's figure out, this is now 50%, 50%. So if we right-hand click again, go down to inspect, and I go and pick one of these blocks, if you look, it's showing you stuff. Look, it's showing you 50%. So if I was to set it on 33, that's roughly 3 in 100. Yeah, 33 times 3, nearly 100. So it's put it to that. So you could do 33.333 just if you want to be ultra accurate with it. And now that has created that for me. So you can take, this is actually, it's giving a lot of information here, like media and all this stuff. What you can do is you can just select this in part. So don't worry too much about the outside. So if I save this now and I put this into the page properties here, like that, and of course add that all important tag in there with a semicolon at the end, click update. Now I refresh and it's 2 because I need to grab the whole thing. Okay, not a problem. I'll just grab all of it. Let's go back. Okay, and paste it all in there and go important copy. So you can just play around, grab that code from there, and we're going to do 33.333. Doesn't matter. Click save. Okay, click save, and hit this. Oh, that's really annoying. Hold on. Should be overriding. Right. Right, 2 seconds, guys, while I just look. Oh yeah, I've got it in there. It's absolutely fine. LG. Oh, max width. Right, okay, so there's a few little bits that it's hard to sort of show you because there are other things that you need to factor in, like max width. It was 1200, I wanted it 900, so I've got I have to add a couple of extra bits of code. So this is where AI is probably going to help you with this. So let me try and get AI to do it, because I don't want to explain it all to you because it's just going to blow your mind. You're probably already like, right? So you can put something like that in as an override. So you've got both, and then it will come across, or not, because I've got even more in there. So let's try and get AI to do it. This is a good point to try and get AI to do it for us. Oh, I'm so stupid. Look, I'm on the blog post content page. I didn't change to the other template. Why didn't you guys tell me this? I'm on the post page. I was like, this should work. Why is that not working? Look, come on, I need a little help here. Right, so let's go to our settings again, and to not this page, this page. There's me. Well, it should work. Is a code injected somewhere? Is it cached? All right, so we're now in this area. I'm going to go to page. Hazel. Right, so let's put this in here again and click update, and there we go. So ridiculous. Stupid boy. There you go. Right, that's it. Right, I'm going to put that code in here. You could just paste that, and then you're going to get 3 columns. So with that code, what you can see with that code, can you see it in there? Is it there for you? To change some of the values. So let me go back to let me go and show you that code again. So I just want you to understand. Now, funny things can happen, so be careful, right? But with this code, let me just zoom in, right? What you're saying is the width of column large 6, that means this block here. This means this block here, right? That's what it's talking to. So when you see that, you're saying to that little block, because you've got 3 in here, right? You're saying go only 33.33% of the whole block. Now, this bit here, this actually is for devices. So whenever you see at media only screen and things like max width 900, min whatever, it's basically saying the size of the screen. So when it hits a certain size, in this case 900 pixels, I want you to do this, or I want you to do that. So when you see CSS that's written like this, it means it's basically generally for desktop and for all screens. But if you ever get something like media only size width, then what that means is actually make this change when the size of the screen gets to that many pixels. So you don't have to think about it too much, but it's just if you see that, now you'll be able to turn people. I know what that means. That means when it basically the size of the screen hits that, it will do that. So you can talk to people about that now. You might not know how to write CSS, but you'll know what media queries are, and that's what a media query is. So it's looking at the size. If it hits that size, then, or it's max width or under that size, then it will then carry that action. If it doesn't, it won't. So there's like, if it's this, it will do this. If it's this, it will do that. So you're basically branching it. It's the way that you can use CSS to control these things going through. So, but you don't have to think about it too much, right? So mobile, I only show one at a time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mobile phones. You're not going to be able to override. You can, but I'm not going to go into that. Right? You might want to ask AI to do that. So right. So AI. Right. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to try and do this with AI, because it'll be easier for you guys, I think. Right. So let me open up ChatGPT. I'm going to do it in a new chat window. So I have trained AI models. So my trained AI models do things like coding. They're really good at it because I've trained them. And they're really good at things like knowing what the Zenler framework is. But you guys haven't got all that information. So I don't want to give it to you. Right? I don't want to, because I'd be here for the next 2 days walking you through, because there's so much code behind and so many tests that I've done to make sure things work. So what I need to do is I need to try to do it in a new chat window. So this is my AI, and you have Gemini, Claude, whatever you're using, Perplexity. It's up to you. I'm going to try it. I've not tried this before. In my coder, it'll work because I've done it before, but this is open. So, and AI is super clever. So let's see what we can do. So this should be interesting. This should be exciting. So here's our blog. I'm going to remove that code that we got. So it should be 2 columns. I'm going to try and get it to do the same as what we did. So for some reason it's not going, but am I doing the right page? Am I doing the right page? Right. Okay, good. Okay. Right, so let's get it to do some stuff. So that's still coming up. Why is that still coming up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like it's caching that page. Okay. Not sure why. Let me just close this page, go back to blog. Settings. Yeah, get rid of it. Update it and try this. Right. So what I want you to do is I want you to decide what you want for your site. So you might decide certain things. So we're going to work on this page, but the same applies for the main post pages. So what you need to do is you need to decide what you want to do. So you need to know what color, what font, what line breaks, all of these things. And then you can ask AI to do it. So I'm going to try two things. I'm going to try to just give it a general idea and give me the CSS for it. And then I'm going to show you another technique that I often use, which is pretty super cool. So let's go with the general one. We're going to say, right, okay, I want the titles that are in purple to be red. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to share the URL. So make sure you haven't got the preview bit turned on, right? So it should be a live site like this. We're going to grab that link and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go on my blog page, colon, give the blog URL. I want the purple titles to be red. Now you might have a hex number or a particular color to put in there. If you want to put that in there, you can put that in there. So for instance, red is hash FF0000, right? So if I put that in there, it's going to match to that, but I'm going to leave it as red. I want to be as vague as possible. So pretty simple. I want my blog page, the link, then you give the contents. I want the purple titles to be red. And then I want to go a line drop down. And I want to go, give me the CSS code. And, right, and this is important bit, it must contain the important tag, right? So this will save you typing it in there or editing it. That's why I've added it. So it's really important. So like I said to you, if you go and put the code in there and you don't have important and it doesn't change, it's probably because your branding is overriding it. Right, I'll see you later, Hazel. Good to see you here. Yeah, so make sure you come back and watch it later. Right, so we're being really vague with it, but we're going to try and get it to do all that work. So all the stuff that you learned earlier, you don't have to worry too much about. So it's got the link. It's got that I want the purple to be red. I've said, give me the CSS code and it must contain the important tag. Let's hit this and see what it does. So it's fetching the Zenler HTML selector. Oh, look, it's giving me some stuff. So add this to your page's custom CSS, right? For a broader rule that targets the links, blogs, titles visible on the page, use. So that targets the links as well, which is pretty good. But that's what I asked it for. So let's see if that works. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go in there. It looks like it might, but it doesn't look exactly right. So I'm going to go to page settings. I'm going to go into CSS. I'm going to drop that in there. Notice it's got important. Look at that. Let's click update and let's see if all of our titles have turned red. So we're going to let that, and then I'm going to push it. I'm going to push the envelope. Right. So let's go in here now and let's refresh this. And it's not done it. Right, so what's happening? Why has it not done that? Have I got blog post content? I've done it again, haven't I? Right, I've done it again. Right, let me select that, cut it, See, I'm not stupid twice. Right, let me just save that and open the blog page. You guys are probably shouting. Right, let's go in and just open the proper page. So the blog page. Let's type it. So I was like, it should work, but why is it not working? Right, let's go in here now, page settings. Let's type in that and click update and save it. And let's go and see if this has worked. So is it saved yet? Yep. Let's go and hit this. And no, it hasn't. So why has it not worked? It's actually because it's not correct. It's like blog title. It's not inspecting it closely enough. So what the second thing that you can do, and this is what I prefer to do, is you can actually give it the code. So sorry guys, I'm just going to turn this off. It's annoying. Right. We can actually give it the page code. So this is a better way of doing it. So what you can do is you can right hand click in the browser and you can go and you can inspect it. So we're now going to click inspect. And we're going to use that little thing. We're going to go in here and we're going to select, we're just going to mouse over this area. So the problem it had was that it was looking for blog title, and that's not really in there. And I find that AI has a real big problem when you send it to a URL, unless you're using something like Claude Code or Codex, which will actually do a much better job. So if that happens, what you need to do is you need to select the element, and we're going to right hand, when we got the element, we're going to click it like this. And then on this side, you're going to get text come up. So you're going to get like H3 or these texts. I want you to, once you've selected it, I want you to go down and hold on, why is it not holding? Click in there. And I want on this side where it says H3 class, I want you to right hand click and copy it. And you're just going to copy element. Right, that's what you're going to do. And now I'm going to say that did not work. Here is the code. And you can say element if you want. And then we're just going to paste that in there and we're going to see what it gives us. So you've given it the text as well, but it's really going to look at this. It's going to look at these and it's going to go, ah, that's what you wanted. And this will change based on that. So if we throw that prompt across, it's now going to look and it's done it. Right? And I can tell that's correct. So it's also looking in here and it's given H2 blog AA. So that is actually for a link in an H3. Because it's put an A in there. So generally you can just take the first one. I know this is going to work. I can see it's correct. So inside this page now, I'm going to select all. I'll paste that in there and I'm going to click update. And you're going to see it's going to go red for sure. 100%. I'm sure of it. Right. So there you go. Right, and I only know it was going to go red because I do this stuff all the time, so I know when it's right and when it's wrong. So let's go super crazy with this and choose another block. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a whole block like this, and if you look on the right hand side, let me just bring this down. So you're going to have this code block here. If you've got this turned on, you can go over here and you can see it will grab the code there. Look, that's basically grabbed the whole page code. If you do this with the little arrow, it closes up. That's the whole page. So as you open this tag up, it will start to target different areas. So as you move down, it will you're going to start to see things happening once it goes through here, or not. And it will look, it's sort of pulling things across. So you can go over the whole page. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get it to give us the 3 columns. So inside here, I'm going to select the whole block like this. Then I'm going to right hand click and I'm going to go copy, and you can have fun with this, right? And then I'm going to go across to copy element. Copy element. All right. Now I'm going to say, please give me 3 columns instead of 2. Produce CSS with the important tag. You might not have to write this because it kind of remembers what you did before. So you've said, please give me 3 columns instead of 2. Produce CSS with the important tag. There, right? So what AI will do is it will look at all of that code that I'm about to paste in there, and it will find where the rows and columns are, and it should sort it all out for us. So this is what the code it's given us. So loads and loads of code in here. You can see it all. You don't need to worry about it. You're just going to hit this, and it should give us the correct, because you've put the code in, it's actually got the code. So it's looking at this and it's going, okay, that doesn't, yeah, kind of looks right, but not quite. It's gone 50%, 50%, 33. So keep the 2 columns on tablets. Oh, it's done a better job. It's done media query. This is great. Right. So even like, this is what it's done. It's done like max width 76. So it's kept it at 100%. So when you get down to mobile, it's got it on 100. It's going to be 1 column. So it's even worked that out for us. This should work. It looks good. So I'm going to copy this code. This is so much simpler than doing it yourself, isn't it? So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to the page properties. And I just want to get rid of that red part that we did before. So I'm going to copy over and I'm going to click update. What that's done is it hasn't just given us three rows, but it's also adapted for 2 rows on tablet, 1 row on mobile. Now, if you guys know this, it just jumps from 2 rows to 1 row. So it's added an extra query in there. So now when we save it, we should get it right. So instead of 2, it should be 3. So I'm going to close this up to see the dramatic drum roll effect. And there you go. And now let's look at it. If we close this down, we're going to see that it's going to jump to 2 rows. And then when it hits mobile, it's going to jump to 1. Look at that. I mean, superb. Let's go crazy here. Let's extend on this. Say, sorry, I mean 4 columns. And what we're doing here, in essence, is we're vibe coding, right? We're adapting, we're looking at it quickly, we're making changes. So what's it done now? It's so cool. Right. So let's go and grab this. I'm going to copy it again, copy in here, jump back to this page. We're going to go to here and put that in there, click update. 4. It's so cool, isn't it? Right. So we're going to do another example of this. There you go. We've now got this. So when we hit that breakpoint, it'll hit 2 and it'll hit 1. So something that's fairly, it's not hard. It's hard if you're not used to all this different code, because what it's created for you is all of this. And that can be really intimidating to people. So let's go and go a little bit crazy with this. Right, so you get the idea now. Do you get the idea what we're doing? So I'm going to go right back to the beginning. I'm going to strip the code back out. Check it across your devices. So I've taken that code out. We're back to two columns. And you can do exactly the same with your post pages as well. So inside here, I'm going to refresh this. Right, we're going to go pretty crazy now. I'm going to get it to do just the craziest thing. And I don't even know what it's going to come out with. So I'm going to right hand click. I'm going to go to inspect. I'm going to come into this block. Click. Don't click the top block. Just make sure you're inside this block. So when you click it, it's going to give you this stuff on the right hand side. What we don't want to do is we don't want to be going over and selecting like right at the top like that. We don't want that, because that will include the header and the footer. What we're trying to do is just get this middle area. This is the dynamic part. So once you click that, it's going to highlight on that code on the right hand side. Right hand click, go here, copy element. Okay, come into here. Okay, let's do this. Right. Okay, so what should we do? What should we do? Okay, give me a crazy design with gradients and rounded corners and gradient text. Haven't even spelt it right. You know what? I don't care. As CSS only. Right. This is the first stage. Right. So I always put a colon at the end. You don't really have to, but I just used to doing it. So I'll do a line break this time and I'll paste that code in there. Right, let's just do this. So I don't know what could happen. Now you can specify. You could say, right, I want a gradient on my titles that goes white to grey. You know, you could say, I want the text to be open sans regular at 16 pixels. You know, if you've got all this information, you can feed it in, it will do it exactly. We're just experimenting here. We're having fun with this stuff. I showed you how easy it is to remove the code, so you're not going to break anything. You don't have to worry. So look what it's produced. So I don't know, but I love, you know what I love about it is that there are a lot. I'm personally really anal about this, but I always mark up CSS that I do, because when I pass it, or if I pass it to another coder, they know exactly what it does. And what I love about AI is it does the same. Look, color overlays on images. It's told me what that does. If I go here, it's blog image. So it relates to the blog image. Image container. It's shown me things. So that's what I love about it. So it's created a lot of stuff. Right, stuff, because I don't know what it looks like. Crazy gradient blog design. So I'm going to copy it. Right, and we're going to come in here and we're going to go to our page settings. We're going to paste it in there. Now I have noticed that there's no important on these tags, which is a problem for me, because remember I said to you, it needs to have important. So actually it has on most of them, but not all of them. Okay, maybe it's all right. It's made something up, so we'll see. So let's click update. Wow, I don't know. I really don't know what to say at the moment. Let's click save. Sometimes it will default back like this, but if we go into the page, I don't know what is going to happen here. So it hasn't worked. It's done something, but it's like, let's just tell it has not worked, because sometimes it's worth asking it again and getting it to do things, because it said it has not worked. I'll tighten the selector around the exact Zenler blocks and remove effects that are commonly blocked, overridden by. That's great. I just said it hasn't worked. It's just come back to me and given me technical breakdown of what it's going to do. But I don't know. I've got no idea about coding at all. I just throw it in there, go, it doesn't work for me. And we're going to take this a stage further in a minute, because I'm going to tell you how you can get it to solve problems. Because remember I said it had a problem looking at the URL. So sometimes you can feed it answers like, you know, it doesn't work, any of these things, but it might get to a point where you're just repeating it time and time again. So I'm going to show you a technique to actually get it to understand what's going wrong. And that is important. So it's still building. It's trying to do it in a safer way. Let's copy that. Let's go into here. Let's see if it's done this. So that code is still in there. I'm going to delete it out. I'm going to click update. And oh, that looks better. Right. Whoa, look at that, guys. You know, that's not bad, is it? So, yeah, that's crazy gradient. So it's put a gradient around the border. It's put gradient across all my text. It's put these all into things. This is all what this all works, by the way, right? This all works. Look, it's all working in here. Right. So this is perfect for me because this has caused a bit of a problem that I wanted it to do, because I wanted to show you something that you can do. Do all of you know how to do screenshots? In a PC, you can use, I think in a Mac, there's a key combination that you can use, but there's a thing called snipping tool. So I use this a lot, and it's really cool because with the snipping tool, you can grab things. So it's called snipping tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this screen and we're going to show it what's wrong with it. So we're actually going to say, look, this is really close to the edge, right? Both sides, it's really close. I don't want it that close. I want it much, 25% in, let's say, on both sides. So we can show it what it's doing wrong. And this is really cool. And I do this all the time. And I've been doing this a lot when I've been doing really complex programming jobs where something's throwing an error and I'm telling it, but I'm showing it. I'm saying, look, this is what's happening and this is the error. Look at this. So I don't have to type that in there. So if we click new, I can grab this screen like this, and I can grab the block that we're affecting, which is this, and I can tell it. So on here, sometimes I do markdown. So sometimes I come in here and do this. I'll mark it on here, right? Because it will know. So I put these little lines in, right? This is crazy stuff. It can understand this, what you're putting. And now it can understand. So when I tell it, you're too close to the edge, I want you to come in 25% or 20%. It will see my picture and it'll go as a little arrow. Oh, right. Oh, okay. I can understand that. So this is like another level of training on these things. So let me save it first. Let's call it markup and click save. Okay, right. It's great. I'm not sure it's great, but can you come in 20% on the edges as it's tight? Right. Now that probably would be enough to tell it. It would probably go, I understand what you mean. I'll bring it in. I'll bring the margins in. But just to tighten it up and make sure that I'm not wasting any of my time, I'm going to upload that image. So inside here, I've got that image. I'm going to drop it into GPT and I'm going to click this. And now it will have something to go by. It will see my markup. It will go 20% in the edge. Oh, he means that right close to the edges. So that makes sense. So you're basically being very specific. Yes, to bring the whole block inwards and give you 10% space on each side, 20% total, add this CSS. Right. So it's told me to add this CSS, but I'm too lazy to get this block and drop it in where it needs to go in. If you want responsive to, this is a better version. I don't care. I haven't got enough time to go and copy that first block and find out where that block fits in. So make sure you do this. Please give me all the code so I can just copy and paste because I am lazy. Right, just tell it. Just say, look, I'm lazy, give me all the code. So it goes, right, doesn't even say, doesn't even give you abuse back. It just produces the code. Right, so we'll let it finish. And now it's going to put this top part that it modified into this part here. And it should bring it in 20%. So my whole thing here was to teach you guys that you can use the code inside the page and you can get AI to help you and you can modify things. I'm going to do one last thing on the markup that'll make it easier for you, and then you'll understand. So that'll be the full roundup of what you need. These are quite powerful things that you're learning here. I've shown you how to reverse yourself by just going in where you've dropped the code, go in there and just to get it back to normal, to delete it out, click update, and your site will not be affected. But you can do some pretty amazing things. So this is producing this code now, taking a bit of time, but it'll be finished in a second. Oh yeah, it's done. So I'm going to copy it, and now we're going to see whether it does what we want it. We want it to bring into the edge. So I'm going to go into page settings, into CSS, and I'm going to go update, and I'm going to click this. It doesn't look like it's done it so far, but let's have a look, and let's hit the refresh here, and it still hasn't pushed it in. So I might need to go and check what's going on here. So it's this block here, and I'm going to copy this element. I'm going to go, the block is still against the edge. Give me the new code completed. See this. So I'm going to drop that same image again because it really hasn't changed. So I want it to look at that. So something's going on. Sometimes you can't get there because the Zenler framework has locked it into that box. So when I get really stuck, I tend to just say remove that outer block, and then I just put my own, put my own color or background in there. So sometimes I'll do that because it's putting that in there for there. Not that you would go as crazy as that, right? You do little changes. So when that's finished, I'll just check it. If it doesn't work, then it's something you'd have to work off. But I went crazy there, right? I don't think you could go any crazier with what just happened. I could just say remove background, and then it would just remove it, or just do a white background, and then that would probably be better. If I wanted to, I could spend a bit of time looking through the code, and then I could say, okay, well, that's the code for that background color. And then there's the background, radial, radiant. So that's the bit that I would remove or change, and then that would help it. So it's pretty easy. You can find the code because it puts everything in nicely marked up CSS. Right, let's try this. So one last time, just so you can get the idea, and click update. Oh, that looks better. That's a lot better. No, don't just ask it once, ask it a few times. There you go. Look at that. It's even put a nice little shadow under it. That's nice. So I could now go in and say, oh, you know what? I don't want a gradient. It's even given a nice, look at that effect on there as well. So you can go crazy with it. If you like this workshop, I want a lot of likes. I want you guys to put in the chat, this is really good. I'd like to take this a stage further. That's what I want to see in the chat. If you're watching this and you want more of this, let me know, and I'll just knock it up a gear because I haven't even talked about JavaScript. And trust me, you'll want to know about that. So if you're interested, I want loads of followings, even tag people in that and get them to like it and those things, because then I'll do more of this stuff. So I think I've made it pretty easy now when you consider what we've got here, like really animated to what we had originally. If we look at the new Zenler site, for instance, which is going to be updated pretty soon, and we go over the blogs, look what happens with the cards in here. Nothing, right? It doesn't even change any of this. But let's look at our new one, our crazy one. Look at this. Yeah, pretty funky. So yeah, so that's good. That was good. So the other thing, of course, one last thing I want to tell you about, and that is how you can sort of mark stuff up. So like I said to you before, if you're in any of your post pages, so let's go into one of the posts, because the post is going to be as the post is. So you could come into one of these and you could right hand click and you can actually go to or you can select something like that, go to inspect and do that code. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the source code. Now this doesn't use inspector, but in a browser you can right hand click and you can go to view page source. Now this will look scary, so I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to open a new chat because I want it to be a new chat like this. Okay, and inside here I'm going to say, look at this code. I want all H1 titles, or let's go all main titles. I'm trying to use words that you guys would use, right? I want to make all main titles green. Give me the CSS for this with the important tag. Then I'm going to paste all that code that I got. So I'm just going to go back on myself here. I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to just go back a step. So to get that code, you're in the page, right hand click in Chrome, go down to page source. That is also Control+U, right? Go inside this page, press Control, hold the Control key, press A, Control key, hold it, press C to copy it, and then we're going to paste it in here. So we're telling it, look at the code. I want all main titles to be green. Right, if you want to be really specific, because when you paste such a big amount of code, it goes in as a document file. If you want to be really specific and target it, what you can do is you can use what we did before. You can right hand click, go inspect, and then you can look and you can go, that says H1. Look, see, it says it in that pink color. So if you want to target things, you can go in here, like that says H2. So we've put the main code in here, and I'm going to just add a little bit more. I'm going to go for H1 make pink, and for H2 make green. Right, there we go. So we added a bit more information in there. We've given it the source code and we've told it we want the important tag and CSS. So, and while that's doing that, I'm going to open up the post page. And then we'll look at that. Okay, so that's my post page. That's it there. This is working. Oh, it's done some stuff. All right, okay, great. So it's produced that. It's for specific hex colors. It's giving me hex colors. These are both kind of the same, really. Hex colors are probably better. So let's go in here. Let's go to page settings and let's select all of this. Is that post page? Click that, click save, and now let's have a look at the post page. Remember, green and pink and green. So we got it to do two things there by doing that. Yeah. Yeah. So have I made that really simple for you guys to follow? Look, you can't mess it up. So play around. If it's not working like you want it to, then grab the page code, try it with just the URL, because some of the AI platforms pull or scrape data in from websites better than others. So maybe Perplexity would do that and you don't need to put the code in there or inspect. But what I suggest is you play with it. So you play with it. If it goes really badly wrong, and check it in the phone device as well. Check it in the phone. Make sure you have your phone like this and like this. Check it's all going to flow nicely before you commit. And if it's lovely and nice, then leave it in there. But if it's not, and it's looking really bad, and it can go bad very quickly, remove that code and it will be back to how it was before. Guys, I really hope this is going to benefit you. Please, this is what I ask for giving you this information. All I ask from you is in this post, do these things. And in this post with the video, post a screenshot of what you've done, how you've changed it. And then we can see it all then. It'll be really nice. So keep this little thread going and keep it. So copy this thread inside here and go in there, and like you can copy the thread by going there and then you find the link for it. So copy the link and then keep that or bookmark that, come back in here and just paste in your masterpieces. And maybe, right, do a crazy one like I did. Just go do a crazy one. Right, if you guys really support this, the next one I do will blow your mind. I'm not going to say any more. It will just blow your mind away. I promise you. Right, I promise it will. So you tag other people in, you tell people about this workshop, and I promise you that the next one I do, if it's supported well enough, will be really ultra cool for you. You'll be like, oh wow, I didn't know. And all of it you can do. You can do this stuff easily. So you do this, and you're all coders. You're now vibe coding, right? You're with the technology. So get in there, do your masterpieces and post them. Guys, take care. And that is Friday. Is Saturday tomorrow. Guys, have the best weekend. Please just have a play around. Enjoy it. Really enjoy this stuff, Tiffany. Hazel, really good to see all you guys coming in today. It's super, super cool. And yeah, and show us what you've done. I really do want to see what you've done. I'm not just saying, oh, you know, like, yeah, post it on there. See, I actually want to see what you've done. I want you to push the envelope with this stuff. And also maybe think about doing it in one of your pages on your site, because the pages on your site also have page settings where you can drop CSS, and it will be only for that page. That gets the mind thinking. Guys, take care. Have a lovely weekend. And I'm going to keep a close eye on this post. And if it really gets a lot of activity and a lot of love hearts and all of those things, then I promise you next week, I will blow your mind with what I show you. And I'll give you a few free things as well, if it's supported. Take care, guys. See you soon.